The loneliest moment is when we have the questions and we want someone who can come to us and say that, okay, everything will be okay.
Right.
Mostly men are loved because what they provide and not what they are. But I think it should be other way around because sometimes they may have nothing, but an honest lover will always, love for who you are and not what you provide. There were 9 of us who got COVID in our family. My dad was already having COVID and my mom was in ICU. I thought that you are the one. If being a boy, you are not allowed to cry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tanisha from Moun Foundation, and we are back with our interesting conversations around mental health. Today, we are joined by Mr. Ashish Jain, founder and managing director of Kundan Spaces. With over 20 years of experience in this industry, he is a well known real estate entrepreneur. And we will be talking about success, leadership, and men's mental health. Welcome to our podcast, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
So I would like to know that have you ever heard of men's mental health before?
Not really.
Not
I've heard of regular, mental health, but not
mental health.
specifically for men.
Okay. So I would like to begin with our very first question. When you heard about men's mental health, what was the first thing which came to your mind?
That okay. I mean, there is someone to listen to us as well.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So, what is the loneliest moment in leadership that nobody talks about?
So I think when you are a leader and when someone looks at your chair, they envy your chair, but they don't know the pressure that comes with that chair,
Correct.
and they always come for answers.
Hmm.
But as a leader, we may also have some questions, and I think the loneliest moment is when we have the questions and we want someone who can come to us and say that, okay, everything will be okay.
Right.
So I think that's the loneliest moment. Yeah.
Loneliest moment. Correct. So, growing up, what did being a man mean to you, and did it change today?
So growing up means when I was a boy, of course, mm, boys are always taught that you have to be strong, you don't have to cry,
Hmm.
and being a boy, you are not allowed to cry,
Right.
and then you become a man, and things change, but you still have to be strong because you have to take along your family as and when you grow,
Hmm.
and there are stages like then you get married,
Hmm.
you have to buy a house, then you have to become an architect, you have to become an electrician, you have to become a plumber. The responsibilities grow
Correct.
more. Then you have children, then
Hmm.
you become a doctor, you become a therapist, you become a teacher.
Correct.
So the responsibilities still grow.
Hmm.
So I think from the journey from being a boy to man, the responsibilities never lessen. It
Correct.
grows more and more and more.
Hmm.
And being a man, you have to cope up with all those responsibilities.
राइट सो मर्द को डर नहीं होता जो लोग आज भी यही सोचते हैं इज इट मोर ऑन द सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशंस और सोसाइटल फ्रेमवर्क और इज इट मोर ऑन इंडिविजुअल माइंडसेट
नो, आई थिंक हर मर्द को दर्द होता है, बट दैट्स व्हाट द सोसाइटी हैज बीन टॉट इन सच अ वे दैट men are not allowed to cry, or men are not allowed to suffer, or at least men are not allowed to show that they are suffering.
करेक्ट
I think that's the society norms, and that's what we
सोसाइटी
are living with.
राइट सो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड व्हेन पीपल इनहेरिट अ लेगेसी बिजनेस द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड ऑफन assumes success is guaranteed. What emotional pressures actually come with that responsibility?
So that's a good question. So with the legacy, I think people look at you from the finish line itself.
Hmm.
That because there's always a comparison of someone who has finished that race
Right.
in your journey already.
Hmm.
So you can't go below that. So people have those expectations, and there's a comparison. So that pressure is always there. You can't fall. You have to succeed, and you have to
Correct.
succeed keeping that legacy in mind.
Correct.
So that pressure is always there.
सो वाज़ इट ऑलवेज़ इन द माइंड कि यार लोग क्या कहेंगे या लोगों का ये सोचना है तो हमें उसके अकॉर्डिंग चलना पड़ेगा?
हाँ, मतलब वही तो as I told, because of the legacy, that fear is always there of not failing.
हुँ,
You can't fail. If
हुँ,
you start afresh, you can fail and you can get back.
बैक
But if you are starting itself from that legacy,
हुँ,
so it's more hard work.
करेक्ट एंड वाज़ देयर एवर अ मोमेंट व्हेन यू रियलाइज़ दैट सप्रेसिंग इमोशंस एज़ अ मैन एक्चुअली मेक्स लीडरशिप हार्डर नॉट स्ट्रॉन्गर?
Yeah, I think so. As a leader, strategy is not the only thing.
हुँ,
You have to feel the emotions of your team as well.
Correct.
and to feel that you have to first feel your own emotions.
Right.
And that's
Well
why
said.
I think that yes, you can't suppress emotions,
Hmm.
neither yours nor your team's,
Correct.
and you have to understand that.
Hmm. So does it made leadership stronger, more stronger, or better?
No, it is suppressing emotions is not, doesn't make you stronger. I
Correct.
feel you have to let your emotions come out
Hmm.
and let your team's emotions also come out.
Come on.
I think that makes the leadership stronger.
Stronger. That's well said. And in your 20 plus years of experience in this industry, what has been the most mentally exhausting phase of your life?
So when you can own a building,
Hmm.
but you cannot still have your control over your mind. And I think when you keep succeeding, you don't know when you are getting exhausted.
Right.
And I think, as your question said, so the most exhausting time is that you keep working, but at time you realize that you are deprived of your sleep, you are
Yeah.
deprived of your mental peace.
Right.
That's when you realize that it's already overboard.
Overboard, actually. Taking breaks in between, relaxing is
Yes,
also
is very
equally
important.
important.
Yeah.
Do you think men in leadership roles often feel they carry most of the problems alone?
Yes, I feel, and I've seen a lot of my peer friends and a lot of leaders
Hmm.
who often carry those that pressure with them. And but I think that's where the change is needed.
Correct.
And it's not necessary that you have to carry your pressure all the time. You have to vent it out. You
Hmm.
maybe with your friends, with your mentor, with anyone.
But I think most of the time, that particular person does not think that they have a safe space where they can go and vent out. They think if I share it with my parents, they will get overburdened or they might feel stressed.
Yeah.
And if I share it to my friends, they will say, chill यार, relax.
Mm.
तू बहुत टेंशन ले रहा है, something
Mhm.
like that. So उसको हमेशा अंदर रखने की आदत हो जाती है.
Correct. That's true.
Hmm.
But इसीलिए, as I told you, see, you need one honest friend, not maybe all the friends, but one honest friend whom you can at least speak to,
Correct.
or a mentor. Yeah.
Mm. At what point in your journey did you realize that success and mental peace are two very different pursuits?
Yeah. So as I told you that as you grow, you succeed. Succeed is like एक नशा है, success. So you keep succeeding, you keep succeeding. But एक time के बाद then you think that क्या ये सच में सक्सेस है?
हाँ,
I mean, at the cost of your mental peace. And
correct.
that's when you realize that
Mm.
okay, I think there should be a balance. That it's okay to work, it's okay to have success in life, but
Mm.
you should also have a balance,
Correct.
mental balance.
So
That's
I think most of the people nowadays does not really know what is the meaning of work-life balance.
correct.
So what message you would convey to them?
So I am a very, very strong believer of having a balance in life, and I myself follow that. So I do meditation, I do
Oh, that's
my
great.
workout. I
Mm.
don't miss all those things,
Mm.
how much ever work I have, but that keeps me running, and that gives me more and more energy
Correct.
because I'm mentally strong as well. So
Correct.
unless and until you're mentally strong, I think just being physically strong won't get you that success or won't give you that much energy
Correct.
at work.
And many leaders, because of chasing after success in so extent, they almost forget that they have to give break to their mental health, or they have need to relax. So they need to cut that,
Yeah.
stress. So what do you think about that?
See, if you, it's like a mental stress or injury is like a gym. You have an injury in your
Hmm.
gym. If you ignore that, it keeps growing bigger and bigger.
Correct. Yeah.
So I think as soon as you feel that there is some mental imbalance or like there is some stress, you have to take a break. You have to relax. You have to pay attention to that,
Hmm.
and you make sure that you cure that before you go any further.
Correct.
So I think you have to pay attention to that
Correct.
before it gets worse.
Right. So, one of my personal questions to you is that failures also bring a lot of, low confidence and doubts in your self esteem. So, how a person should cope with that?
So that's why you have to be mentally strong. Failures are always going to happen.
Hmm.
It's not going to be that you are going to succeed 100%.
Correct.
So there are going to be failures but from that you have to learn, you have to get up, you have to recharge and reinvent yourself and keep
Correct.
going.
Have you ever reached a professional milestone but still felt emotionally drained or empty inside?
Yeah, that has happened with me as well.
Hmm.
So you have achieved something, and for you know to achieve that, you have given your 100 to 100%.
Hmm.
Until then, you don't feel, but as soon as you achieve that, then you feel that
Feel.
okay, I mean, have I really achieved it?
Correct. So you re-question yourself that, oh, what was
Exactly.
it? Didn't even realize that the journey was quite long, and you
Right.
sit back and you
Correct.
take that moment sink in you.
Yes.
Who does a successful man talk to when he is struggling internally?
Yeah, so that's what I've been telling, that you should have one honest friend at least. You should have one mentor.
Hmm.
So even if you are a leader, you even if you are a mentor for many people, I think you still need a mentor. Every person needs a mentor
Correct.
or an honest friend. And if nothing works out, or sometimes it is also important to have a therapist
Right.
at some cases.
Who does a successful man talk to when he is struggling internally?
So I think when you are struggling, you should have at least a mentor, because even if you are a mentor as a leader, or you are a mentor for others, you should also have a mentor whom you
Hmm.
can share everything, or you should have one honest friend. I think at least one, and at times you may also need a therapist. So I think these three things, out of these three people, you can share it with anyone whom
Correct.
you feel safe with.
So I think nowadays one of the major reasons to not going for a therapy is because people think therapy तो सिर्फ पागल लोगों के लिए होता है.
Hmm.
So what do you have that opinion on
No,
that?
I think now things have changed. People are aware, and people are still getting more and more awareness about this every day. So therapist people do go, but yes, women go more to therapist. Men are still, hiding
Reluctant.
or from therapists,
Right.
and I think there has to be a change, because you can't keep it to yourself. Somewhere, sometime you have to let it out,
Correct.
and I think therapist is a third party where there is no judgment, there's no biased opinion,
Hmm.
and that's where I think it can make a difference, and in your own mental peace and life. Yeah.
Absolutely. If society allowed men to express just one emotion more freely, which one do you think would change men's mental health the most?
Just speak out. I think that's where many men are hiding their feelings inside, or they are just suppressing themselves. Speak out to someone.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. So, what is one thing men are loved for who they are, or mostly for what they provide?
I think over the years, mostly men are loved because what they provide and not what they are. But I think it should be other way around, because
Hmm.
sometimes they may have nothing, but an honest lover will always, love for who you are and not what you provide.
Wow, that's very insightful. So I think times have really changed because the definition is also changing.
Exactly.
If you're comfortable talking about it, have you ever experienced a phase where the mental pressure felt overwhelming and it was difficult to express what you were feeling? What helped you navigate that time?
So there has been instances in my family itself. So where I just give you an example, like during COVID, there were 9 of us who got COVID in our family,
Oh,
and all together. And I was, since my dad was already having COVID, so I had to, and my mom was in ICU,
oh,
and
that's.
she was in another hospital. Someone was somewhere else,
Mm,
and there was a lot of mental pressure. For the first time, I felt that pressure over bursting, and it
right.
was very difficult time,
Mm,
and no one was able to help you. But then I thought that you have to, you are the one. If you go back, or if you fail, then your entire family
correct.
fails.
Mm,
So I had to keep up to myself, maintaining my balance, and that's where again my physical exercises or my mental exercises worked. That was the point, I mean, the most difficult point in my life,
right.
where I had to balance both, and I had to sustain that pressure.
Right. This is the importance of being emotionally strong and
Yeah,
mentally strong.
exactly.
Because any situation in your life, you can, manage or tackle it very like easily and very subtly.
Correct.
Correct. So one more question I would like to ask that in this industry, you might have seen many builders or architects giving up on their life because of certain debts, yeah, overly debts and pressure.
Mm.
So, what do you think is the very major reason causing that?
No, again, so see, there are going to be pressures, whether you are a builder or any other
Mm,
businessman, or even if you're on a job or if you're doing anything.
right.
Life is not simple. Everyone's life are going to face challenges. You'll have ups and downs.
Mm,
It's not going to be like a straight line and
correct.
just easy life. So it's going to be difficult. Every day is a challenge. I think you have to accept that, and you have to face that.
Mm,
I think running away from any challenge is not the right thing.
thing.
That's why again you have to have a balance
Mm,
to face that.
correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, when we look at the current statistics, men have higher suicide rates than women. Nobody is really talking about it or doing a research on it. Maybe they are, but it's not still, in limelight or highlighted. So, what do you think about that?
So that's a very serious issue. So I was not aware about these statistics, but if
Mm,
that is so, I think there should be more and more men forums or men, where they share with each other.
correct.
Because I think men are more comfortable sharing with other men than women, and that's where those forums are required. I think where
Totally.
we can share with each other our sukh dukh ki batein,
Huh.
and
Any community where they feel safe and they
correct,
can be vulnerable at the same time.
right.
What is that one message you would convey all the men silently struggling today?
Okay. So I think don't be silent. That's the pure message which I would give. That speak out, share with others, share with your loved ones. If you are not comfortable, then outside. If not, then of course go visit a therapist. But you should speak out and don't be silent.
Thank you. That's a very great message. I think our audience will love it.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today,
you.
sir. Thank you.